Well, I'll talk more about the way your career has gone, but I thought we'd go ahead and do another tune. You going to do another tune off the new album?
Yeah, let's do 6 o'clock train. Let's do this. This one is a John Hartford tune that I will do. On the record, I had a special guest, Billy Strings, came in and sang with me on this one.
Another sought-after star these days, right?
Right, yeah. He's setting the world on fire. For sure. But I'm going to do it. This is a John Hartford song, and Mike Bubb is the guy that told me about this song. I'd never heard it, and so Mike told me about this. He said, you ought to do this song. So I wound up recording it, and see what you think of it. It's called The 6 O'Clock Train and a Girl with Green Eyes.
Yeah.
It's hard to concentrate on waiting, wondering if she will know my face, and trying to remember that it might have been the time or maybe it might have been the place. In an underground railroad station, just out of the rain. So much depends on the 6 o'clock train and a girl with green eyes. Hands on the subway clock are straight up and down. Way back in that dark black tunnel, I thought I heard the sound. Will she know me when she sees me, or wait to hear my voice when I see her coming through the steam in a maddening rush hour noise? In an underground railroad station, just out of the rain. So much depends on the 6 o'clock train and a girl with green eyes. So silly in my nervousness, so crazy in my fear. I ask a man with a brown suit on, does the 6 o'clock train stop here? He reassured me quickly and turned as if in pain. And I wondered, maybe he, like I, depended on that train. In an underground railroad station, just out of the rain. So much depends on the 6 o'clock train and a girl with green eyes.
Jason Carter and friends here in Studio B on WNCW. Man, no mystery why Cody is Guitar Player of the Year, is it?
I hear you, man.
Standing in here with guys who've won these IBMA awards. You yourself, what, a half a dozen or so for fiddling?
I think so.
And you guys have some Grammy winners standing in here too, right? Traveling McCurry's.
Yes, sir.
Congrats on all that, man. We were so proud.
Oh, thanks.
I got to tell you, you don't always hear what we say on the radio, but we act like, we're close buddies with y'all, and we congratulate you and everything. So I just want you to know we recognize when.
Well, we are close buddies.
Yeah, now we are, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
That the song there, that is what the record folks call the current focus track or the single that we're pushing right now, right? Yeah, I play everything off of there.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, but that is a great tune.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, and it's great. We do our music mix a certain way here, and it's great to have your version of that Hartford tune to play alongside maybe something that Sam's got out on his new Radio John album. And I think Volume 5's got a Hartford song on their new record.
Yeah, on my recording, I had Sam Bush play mandolin on there. And he's on the original recording of John Hartford's, or on John Hartford's original recording of this tune.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so it's pretty kind of cool for me to have him on there.
Sam just spans different generations of this, doesn't he?
Absolutely.
He's been there. And, did he play with Bill? Well, he always loves it when I bring that up when he comes around the station.
I guarantee it. Yeah.
You started playing at a very young age. I was reading, like third grade, somewhere around there, 8 years old.
I started playing guitar when I was 8 years old, yes.
Right.
I sure did.
And went to mandolin some?
I did, yeah.
Still play?
My dad had a mandolin, and he was a mandolin player at the time, and I would get his mandolin and try to play it. I would never did get very good, but yeah.
And what drew you around to the fiddle?
What brought me to the fiddle was actually I had heard Del McCurry, and I was just a huge fan of him, and I was really young, maybe like 15 years old. And I had a dream of playing music for a living, and so when people would ask me what I was going to do, I told them I was going to play with the Del McCurry band. And to make a long story short, one day my dad told me, he said, "Son, Del McCurry is the guitar player in that band, and he's not going to hire any guitar." And he also filled me in that his sons played mandolin and banjo. And he said, "You're going to have to play fiddle or bass if you want to be in that band." And we had a fiddle at home. So I got the fiddle, and I kind of knew how to note the fiddle because they note the same as the mandolin, So I had that got a little start there. But that's kind of the reason I started playing fiddle, So a few years later, the stars kind of lined up for me.
Clearly.
And I got a job with the Del McCurry band.
You and Marty,
crazy.
You and Marty kind of have parallel stories. He likes to tell a story of how he saw Connie Smith live and said, "I'm going to marry her one day." And you were like, you saw Del McCurry, and you're like, "I'm going to learn to play the fiddle, and I'm going to get up with Del McCurry one day." And it happened, man.
Yeah, it's crazy how things happen, man. Yeah, yeah.
And you've been with him over 30 years now.
Yeah. It's I hired on with him sometime it was in February, but it was whenever I asked for the job, it was at SPIGMA, the Bluegrass Convention in Nashville, which is going on right now. So it might have been 31 years ago now. But anyway, his fiddle player told me that he was leaving the band, and if I wanted the job, I should ask Del, and I did. And that was at SPIGMA, and my first gig was at the Station Inn in Texas and Memphis. I went on the road with those guys, and when I come back, they gave me the job. So
man, that's just, I don't know. That's just one of those dream come true kind of things, right?
It sure is.
But you worked for it. I mean, you had to learn to be good enough to play for Del McCurry. And clearly you did.
Well, I think he gave me a chance. I hadn't been playing too long, and I did work hard at it, but I loved music and I loved playing music. So that's what I did in my spare time. You know, I didn't look at it as practicing or anything like that. I just played music, you know, and that's what I did. You know, it's the same as with all these other guys.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they live music. You know,
they're world-class players, and that's why.
Right.
Because they live it.
Yes.
It's not just like a job or practicing or all that, man. They just want to make the music.
Right. We all love to play music. That's the bottom line.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
And that was at a young age as well. So.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, you were. I mean, I happen to know you got a birthday coming up. What, next Wednesday, right?
It is, yeah. Yeah.
I'm not going to take the liberty of saying how.
I was trying to keep that quiet. But.
Right. But let's just say that based on the math I did, that Jason was a youngster when he started playing with Dell.
Yeah, I started at 19.
Yeah.
Well, I sure did.
You know, and there's even today kids that age are out there and they're making great music and working on getting better and better. You know, and I think a lot of them made their bones in their teens.
Yeah,
because they got that hunger.
Hey, what I hear today out of these young players, if they would have been around whenever. Back in 1992, I would never had a job. There's so many incredible players coming up. Bluegrass music is in good hands for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Who were some of the fiddlers that you really kind of emulated when you were learning and when you were,
well, anybody that played with Del McCurdy.
Right.
You know, first of all, that's John Glick and Warren Blair, Tad Marks and Sonny Miller, all those guys. But I also listened to, like I said, I tried to play guitar, and so I was a Tony Rice fan. And so anybody that played on his records, which would have been Bobby Hicks. Bobby Hicks was a huge influence and still is. Vassar Clemens, Ricky Skaggs played fiddle on there, Sam Bush, Richard Greene, Darrell Anger. But, you know, I don't know. You listen to everybody. And nowadays there's just so many great players.
You got Vassar on this album.
And Stuart Duncan. You know, I mean, he's the king, you know. So.
Well, all right.
Yeah.